Richard Bruce Dick Cheney, born January 30, 1941, in Lincoln, Nebraska, is an American politician and businessman whose career has spanned decades, marked by significant roles in government and the private sector, as well as controversy for his influence and policies. Below is a comprehensive account of his life, drawn from available sources and critically examined for accuracy. Early life and education. Cheney was born to Richard Herbert Cheney, a soil conservation agent, and Marjorie Lorraine Dickey Cheney, a former softball player, both Democrats of Irish, Welsh, English, and French Huguenot descent. The family moved to Casper, Wyoming, when Cheney was 13, where his father worked for the U.S. Soil Conservation Service. In Casper, Cheney attended Natrona County High School, where he was co-captain of the football team and senior class president, while his future wife, Lynn Vincent, was homecoming queen. Cheney enrolled at Yale University in 1959 on a scholarship but struggled academically and socially, partly due to excessive drinking. He flunked out twice, leaving Yale without a degree. After working as a groundman stringing power lines, he resumed his education at the University of Wyoming, earning a B.A. in political science in 1965 and an M.A. in 1966. He began doctoral studies at the University of Wisconsin but did not complete them. During this time, he married Lynn Vincent on August 29, 1964. They would later have two daughters, Elizabeth, Liz, and Mary. Early political career. Cheney's political career began in 1965 as an intern for Congressman William A. Steiger. By 1969, he was working under Donald Rumsfeld in the Nixon administration at the Office of Economic Opportunity, forming a lifelong professional alliance. After briefly leaving government in 1973, Cheney joined the Ford administration in 1974 as deputy assistant to the president. When Rumsfeld became Secretary of Defense, Cheney, at age 34, was appointed White House Chief of Staff, 1975-1977, the youngest person to hold the position. Following Ford's loss to Jimmy Carter in 1976, Cheney returned to Wyoming and ran for the state's sole House of Representatives seat in 1978. Despite suffering his first heart attack at age 37 during the campaign, he won and served from 1979 to 1989, securing 5 re-elections. In Congress, he took conservative stances on issues like abortion, gun control, and environmental regulation, rising to House Minority Whip in 1988. He also served on the House Committee investigating the Iran-Contra affair, defending the Reagan administration. Secretary of Defense. In 1989, President George H.W. Bush nominated Cheney as Secretary of Defense after John Tower's nomination failed. Confirmed unanimously by the Senate, 92-0, Cheney served from March 1989 to January 1993. He oversaw major military operations, including Operation Just Cause in Panama, 1989, and Operation Desert Storm, 1991, during the Gulf War, following Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. His leadership earned him the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1991 in the U.S. Senator John Heinz Award for Public Service. Cheney described his Pentagon tenure as the most rewarding period of his career. During this time, Cheney commissioned the Defense Planning Guidance Study, which advocated for U.S. unilateral dominance in a post-Cold War world, skeptical of multinational alliances like the United Nations. He disagreed with Bush's decision to end the Gulf War without toppling Saddam Hussein. Private sector and Halliburton. After Bush's 1992 election loss, Cheney joined the American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank, and in 1995 became chairman and CEO of Halliburton, an oil services company. At Halliburton, he leveraged his global political contacts, particularly in the Persian Gulf, to expand the company's business, including controversial operations in sanctioned countries like Iraq, Iran, and Libya through subsidiaries. Critics later pointed to Halliburton's lucrative contracts during the Bush administration as evidence of Cheney's influence and potential conflicts of interest. Vice Presidency, 2001-2009. In 2000, Texas Governor George W. Bush tasked Cheney with leading his vice presidential search committee. Bush ultimately chose Cheney as his running mate, and they won the contentious 2000 election. Cheney redefined the vice presidency, acting as a powerful advisor with significant influence over national security and policy, often described as the most powerful vice president in U.S. history. Post 9/11, Cheney played a central role in the Bush administration's response, including the creation of the Office of Homeland Security and the War on Terrorism. He advocated for the Patriot Act, the terrorist surveillance program, and enhanced interrogation techniques like waterboarding, which he defended as necessary to prevent future attacks, though critics labeled them torture. Cheney was a key figure in pushing intelligence claims that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction, justifying the 2003 Iraq War, a decision later criticized as based on flawed or manipulated intelligence. His tenure was marked by controversies, including the 2003 outing of CIA agent Valerie Plame by his chief of staff, Scooter Libby, which led to Libby's conviction, later commuted by Bush. In 2006, Cheney accidentally shot attorney Harry Whittington during a hunting trip, an incident that damaged his public image further, with his approval rating dropping to 18% by February 2006. Cheney's health was a recurring issue, with multiple heart attacks, beginning in 1978, and procedures, including a stent insertion in 2000, a pacemaker in 2001, and a heart transplant in 2012. Despite these challenges, he remained active in policymaking, personal life and beliefs. Cheney's conservative ideology, shaped by his time at Yale and in government, emphasized a strong executive branch and unilateral U.S. power. However, he diverged from many conservatives by supporting same-sex marriage, influenced by his daughter Mary, who is openly lesbian. This stance caused public tension with his daughter Liz, who opposed it during her congressional campaign. Cheney is an avid fly fisherman, history enthusiast, and supporter of veterans' causes. His Secret Service code name, Angler, reflected his love for fishing. He has also made cameo appearances, such as on the TV show 24, showing a lighter side. Post-vice presidency. After leaving office in 2009, Cheney remained vocal, criticizing President Barack Obama's policies while praising specific actions, like the killing of Osama bin Laden. He published his memoir, In My Time, 2011, and a medical memoir, Heart, An American Medical Odyssey, 2013, co-written with his cardiologist. In 2017, he called Russian interference in the 2016 election a potential act of war. In a surprising move, Cheney and his daughter Liz endorsed Kamala Harris for president in 2024, with Cheney calling Donald Trump a coward and a threat. This reflected his break with Trump's wing of the Republican Party, despite his lifelong Republican allegiance. Legacy and controversy. Cheney's legacy is polarizing. Supporters view him as a decisive leader who prioritized national security, while critics argue his policies, particularly the Iraq War and enhanced interrogation, were misguided and damaging. His approval rating hit a low of 13% in 2008, reflecting widespread public disapproval. Films like Vice, 2018, portrayed him as a power-hungry figure, though critics of the film argue it oversimplified his ideological motivations. Cheney's career reflects a complex interplay of ambition, ideology, and pragmatism, shaped by his early struggles, health challenges, and deep involvement in U.S. politics and foreign policy. His influence on American governance, particularly the expansion of executive power, remains a subject of debate.